The Eleusinian mysteries, death, grain, and resurrection. For nearly 2,000 years, pilgrims walked the sacred road from Athens to Eleusis. They came not for spectacle but for mystery, for a rite so guarded that its details were never written, only remembered in silence. Yet all who emerged from the Eleusinian mysteries spoke of the same transformation. They no longer feared death. The myth that framed these rites was simple yet profound, the story of Demeter and Persephone. Persephone, daughter of the grain goddess, was seized by Hades and carried into the underworld. Demeter searched in anguish until Persephone was returned, but only for part of the year. Thus, the earth itself learned to die and rise again. Grain fell into the soil, disappeared into darkness, then returned green with life. The cycle of seasons became the first scripture. In the Telesterion, the great hall of initiation, candidates were led through a journey that mirrored this myth. They began in darkness, purified by fasting, carrying torches through the night. They saw sacred objects, the kernel of grain, the vessel of life, and heard words whose power was not in meaning alone, but in the way they resounded in the soul. Finally, they witnessed a vision of resurrection, the promise that death was not the end, but the passage through which new life springs. The grain was the central image. A seed falls, decays, and is lost. Yet from that burial, harvest arises. The initiate understood that human life follows the same law. What seems destruction is transformation. What appears loss is preparation for renewal. The grain did not merely feed the body, it fed the hope that the soul too is sown into death, only to be raised in another field. For the Greeks, this mystery was not mere allegory. It was a lived initiation. Those who had seen the vision of Eleusis said they had tasted immortality. They left with courage for life and serenity for death. Plato himself hinted that philosophy was only an echo of what the mysteries revealed, that the soul is destined to return to its source as surely as the seed returns to earth. Today the rites are gone, the temples fallen to ruin, but the symbolism still speaks. Each spring when fields awaken, the old teaching returns. Death is not annihilation, but gestation. Each moment of loss, each ending in our lives can be understood as a sowing, an invisible planting whose harvest we have yet to see. The Eleusinian mysteries whisper across time, "Do not fear the furrow, for it is the beginning of the bloom." To know this is to live differently. It is to greet endings not with despair, but with reverence. It is to see in every falling grain the promise of resurrection.